Welcome to Black History Month 2021 with Yalpebi. Our focus for this year's Black History Month is the role of youth power in ending apartheid in South Africa. Specifically, the role of youth power in Soweto. Every day till the end of February, there will be quotes, poignant quotes from this book. Enjoy. The 23-year-old Steve Biko founded the South African Students Organization, SASO, which among other things was involved in medical outreaches, providing legal aid, and helping develop small-scale industries for disadvantaged black communities. SASO's motto, which Steve coined, was "Black man, you are on your own." As the young people in Soweto were getting ready for their demonstration, these are the words one of them uttered. "Our parents are prepared to suffer under the white man's rule. They have been living for years under these laws and they have become immune to them. But we strongly refuse to swallow an education that is designed to make us slaves in the country of our birth." This was in the World newspaper by a young person in Soweto. Soweto has shone light on the rest of the world through the likes of Desmond Tutu and Nelson Mandela. These are two Nobel Prize laureates who both lived on Vilakazi Street in Orlando West, Soweto. The music diva Yvonne Chaka Chaka, another proud product of Soweto, is evidence that you may physically oppress a people, but you have no power over their soul. Yet another evidence of youth power was this 25-year-old who joined the African National Congress in 1943, first as an activist, then as the founder and president of the ANC Youth League. Few people know this about Nelson Mandela. On 20th April 1964, these are the words of Nelson Mandela while he faced trial. He said, "I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and achieve, and if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." It was a rather wet morning, and in spite of the struggling sun trying hard to announce its presence through the thick clouds, the biting cold gave little indication that this was a South African summer. The gloomy weather, however, could not withstand the heat and radiance of the fire within to visit Soweto, a place that became synonymous with the apartheid struggle. Now, whether through the music of Hugh Masekela or the poignant sayings of Steve Biko, or even the reference to Nelson Mandela's home before he was picked and damned in prison, the name Soweto rang so many bells and convulsed such warm thoughts of victory over apartheid that this writer, who would not for anything pass up this opportunity to step foot in Soweto live. Before the visit to Soweto, I had no idea I would be so touched as to write about it. My friends and I had just completed the rounds through the Apartheid Museum and Nelson Mandela's humble Soweto home, but by the time we were being retold the horror stories of police brutality at Regina Mundi Catholic Church, I just knew a book was about to be brought forth. I was pregnant. Now, what really first put this political hotbed called Soweto in the spotlight or on the world map was its youth. And the day was June 17, 1976. I discussed youth power in Soweto in three phases: before June 16, on June 16, and after June 16. The 1976 youth uprisings were against apartheid and Bantu education. Now, apartheid refers to the political ideology which sought to separate blacks from whites, putting development and progress in favor of whites. In 1953, the apartheid government enacted the Bantu Education Act, consequently establishing a black education department in the Department of Native Affairs to compile a curriculum that suited the, in quotes, nature and requirements of the black people. As Native Affairs Minister, Dr. Hendrik Verwoerd was the promulgator of this Bantu education legislation. I call him the author of apartheid because he was later to become prime minister. He's on record to have stated, and I quote, "Natives must be taught from an early age that equality with Europeans or whites is not for them." Did you hear that? Natives must be taught from an early age that equality with Europeans is not for them. End of quote. The government of South Africa has done well to set June 16 aside as a national holiday commemorating June 16, 1976, to honor the youth power that was displayed that day. It is the country's National Youth Day. I salute the Hector Petersons, Steve Biko's, Nelson Mandela's, and all youth who were battered and bruised, those who bled and those who are buried. You are the heroes of today's youth. You epitomize youth power. You encourage us that the struggles we need to use youth power to pull through today are nothing in comparison. At least most of us have not come to the point of shedding blood or paying the ultimate price. If you shook the world and made your voices heard, we can also. Indeed, we must. The movie Cry Freedom is a fitting memorial of Stephen Bantu Biko. He died young, at 30 years of age, but full of years still. The father of Black consciousness movement, an emblem of the apartheid struggle, Biko, the youth, lived out his name Bantu, which literally means one who loves his people. Youth power personified. Remember, it is not how long you live that matters, but how well you do. All because some students wouldn't shut up when their parents and other adults did. But for the strength and energy, teaming numbers, passion, talents, control, and influence, all facets of youth power displayed on that God-sent June 16, 1976, albeit violent, perhaps South Africa would have had an even longer walk to freedom, if ever at all. Youth power in Soweto was central in breaking the back of apartheid and liberating the suffering indigenous Black people of Azania.